Good afternoon. I'm Heather. It's good to see you all. I am one of those elusive creatures, an artist who manages to make a good living while doing exactly the art that she wants to do. I've got to say, I am a recording artist, a record label owner, a touring musician. In a 15-year career, I have had 15 albums released. I'm touring 100 dates a year across North America and Europe. And fundamentally, that's just the resume. The important point, as Denise mentioned, is that I have no mass marketing budget. I do no mass marketing for my music. I have no insider connections in the music industry. What I do have are great fans. And I want to talk to you today about the guiding philosophy behind how I get my music and my art out to the people that it's going to make a difference for. I considered calling this finding your niche, but it's more important than that. It's deeper than that. It's about looking for like-minded individuals. And in order to do that, you have to understand yourself. You have to figure out what really defines you as a person. And once you find those like-minded individuals, it's about pulling them together into a new community. And so I call it finding your tribe. In order to give you some background, we have to roll back the clock a little bit to me as a kid. Now, I was not a cool kid. Really not. This is well before the days when geekiness was fashionable. And I was an 8th level Al-Qadim barbarian in Dungeons & Dragons, proudly. I collected bugs, which my mom was not pleased about. I read Isaac Asimov sitting in the tree in my backyard. I watched Doctor Who obsessively. Old school Tom Baker. In high school, when all of my friends were out partying, I was at home making intricate little paper castles out of scraps of cardboard. In Frosh Week here at campus, I missed all of the drinking parties because I was at the fabric store selecting the perfect fabric so that I might have a slightly warmer vampire cloak to wear as I wandered around campus in the winter. And yes, I am quite serious, I did that. I knew what I liked, and I knew what I enjoyed doing, and my family was very supportive. But there was always this pervasive social pressure saying that at some point in my life, I would have to give up my geeky dreamer ways in order to make something of myself. And so the first songs that I wrote were about normal things, you know, loneliness, why boys are weird, that sort of thing. And if I was still making that music, I would not be where I am today. My first breakthrough came on campus here in my 2nd year when I discovered a local history club. Now, that local history club was it was the chapter of a medievalist history group, which is worldwide, called the Society for Creative Anachronism. Now, the SCA is part of a wider worldwide medievalist movement. It's a subculture of people who decided that they were going to do something about the fact that personal integrity, honor, and personal courage seem to be undervalued in modern society. And so they work hard to foster those values in themselves and then to show that as an example to the world that they are worth doing. I walked into my first SCA event, my first medievalist event, into a room full of history geeks who were sword fighting and doing medieval crafts, and I went, oh my God, there's more of us. I had found the first part of my tribe. And I stopped writing songs about things that didn't matter to me, and I started writing songs about things that did. Things that I was passionate about, history, legend, looking for commonalities in the human experience. My particular passion artistically is to write multi-layered modern Celtic songs inspired by fairy tales and legends. And I want to play you one of those songs now. This is a song called Mordred's Lullaby. It currently has over 4 million hits on YouTube. And that is growing every day due to a series of astonishingly cool and wonderfully beautiful fan videos that are being created for that song around the world. The song is ostensibly about a kidnapped child from the old King Arthur legends, but really it's a way of letting me comment on the sadly common state of affairs where a child ends up inheriting the emotional baggage of their parents. but you'll always follow the voices beneath. Guileless son, your spirit will hate her, the flower who married my brother the trade. And so I started churning out recordings, and they became really popular in medievalist circles. Originally, I started recording on cassette, using about $19 worth of sound equipment that my dad bought for me at Radio Shack. Thank you, Dad. And later on, I started renting time in studio as I got better at learning the art of being a recording artist. My second breakthrough came when I discovered my first science fiction convention. I'd always known that science fiction conventions existed, but I always assumed that they existed only in some exotic world like California. And so when friends dragged me to the Ad Astra convention in my hometown of Toronto, I walked into that room full of Jedi Knights and Klingons and Sailor Moons, and I went, oh my God, there are more of us. I had found yet another part of my tribe, like-minded individuals who understood the things that meant something to me. That led to another burst of creativity, where before I had had to have a part-time job as a 5 a.m. manager at a coffee shop. Now I was able to make enough through my music that I could pay the rent full-time. Very exciting. Then I went astray for a while. I started trying to interest the mainstream adult contemporary radio market. No dice. I made a little more headway with the mainstream Canadian folk music market, and I started to get 1 or 2 folk festival bookings every summer, but again, that was not enough to pay the rent or to transition into that as my main venue. Now, don't get me wrong, mainstream audiences actually really do enjoy what I do. It seems fairly obscure, but I take the time during our concerts to explain the universal themes and the common ideas of finding hope in tough times and what to do if you've been betrayed by a friend and, the idea of balance in your life. I take that time to explain those to people so that the songs mean something concrete as well as abstract. And my band is lively and we laugh a lot on stage. So mainstream audiences enjoyed us, but we got very few opportunities to be in front of mainstream audiences because the people in the industry who were booking for venues didn't quite understand a Celtic group that didn't sing traditional Celtic material. And fair enough, wasn't what they were looking for. And then 2008 happened. The economic crash hit everybody hard, particularly down in the States where we'd done a lot of touring. And at the end of the week, very few people had enough money to hire a babysitter and then come out to a live concert. And so by the end of that year, my partner Ben and I were very close to calling it quits and going back to a 9-to-5 existence. But then we took a step back and we redefined what success meant to us. We already had our audience. We had found at least a good portion of our tribe. There were more people flocking to our music every day, and so in order to help us, we asked that people give us an opportunity to come to them. We put the word out in our tribe, in the science fiction communities, in the alternative living communities, in the medievalist communities, and said, if we came to O'Neill, Nebraska, you think you could get a few people together to come and listen to us? And the emails started pouring in. And we started to tour where our tribe was, rather than trying to call our tribe to where we were. We've been doing that for years. Ever since then, we have trusted our fans, we have trusted our tribe to carry us on this strange river that's taking us around the world. If you think of science fiction conventions as festivals, we actually play more major festivals than the top acts of pretty much any other music genre. We're doing all right. We make a huge difference in the lives of the people who love our music. There are thousands of people out there who are taking our message out to others. And that message is basically, be yourself. Be yourself. Don't let anybody tell you that there are no opportunities for people who don't fit in. Be yourself. embrace, open your minds, open your arms, and we can all come together as a community. So if you have yet to find your particular tribe, keep looking. Don't let anyone tell you that you have to fit in order to make a success of yourself in life. And in the interim, if you haven't found your community yet, you are always welcome to come and hang out with me. Thank you.